go. I do believe we are live, so I'll say indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Today's stream topic is about getting more than you bargained for, and how I believe that all of us already have gotten more than we could have bargained for. Very much from this perspective of thinking of us like kings and queens. That the freedoms, the technology, the access to novel foods, healthcare, information, just information we have as an average person is literally more than a king or a queen or some sort of person in an extreme position of power could have bargained for. Like they couldn't have even known the things to bargain for that we just take for granted. Right? And I feel like that is something significant to consider. All of us living like kings and queens, having gotten more than we bargained for. This stream does sometimes have that as a nature, that we end up getting more than we bargained for in this space together. There's a new Kurzgesagt video out. This virus saves your life by killing billions. I'm curious. I am curious. Up here, I have a little piece of Hella jelly. My last piece of Hella jelly. But it does taste good. It smells great as well. Tastes very nice, so I like appreciating good buds with you, friends. I will turn it into pieces, and then I will put those pieces at the end of my Dynavap. And then I will add a significant amount of heat to those pieces. Until they come outside. I really like the way that smells. Like to a concerning degree. Like I need to make a candy company and start selling candy that smells exactly like that. I'm sure it would sell. I don't know if it would taste good though, is the problem. I'm sure it will. It smells so good that I want to eat it. Getting more than we bargained for. What a trip that is as a concept. Because bargaining in and of itself is like an action, to put it in so many words. But also the thing that I'm really thinking about is like an act of begging. Kind of. Right? Is it? Maybe it's not. Maybe bargaining does have to mean you add value. You can only bargain if you have something of value. So there's not really a begging, necessarily. I'm taking myself on a ride thinking about what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that we all have gotten more than we bargained for. And maybe the part that is kind of eluding me when it comes to my willingness to try and say it is the fact that you can get more than you bargained for and it might be too much. Right? You might get more than you bargained for and you might be super stoked. And in that way, it very much depends. It depends on what you get more of. I have been bargaining for work as of late. And I have been getting work. Talking about work, let me do this quickly, because he did ask me to call him back. And I had yoga earlier. Let's see what this phone call's about. Hey, Nick.
How's it going?
Like in yourself,
Cool,
man.
man. Just been absolutely crazy since I got back from Germany.
Doing too many things right now. Everybody wants your attention.
Yeah, and obviously I'm launching Twilight and Bloom at the same time, like dropping internationals hopefully by Thursday, Friday this week for our first international for Twilight, and then so like running two projects at the same time.
I can imagine that's like a lot. And then like Revolution is probably not on your radar just yet, at least.
Yeah, it's almost there. So once Bloom is done, then we pushing for Rev.
Sounds
We
good.
already had a few chats to my designer team and stuff, but yeah, the Rev is obviously last on the cards.
At least. How are you feeling about Bloom? You feeling good about it, at least?
Yeah, it's gonna be good, eh? It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be we're putting like a heart, blood, sweat, and tears into this event. I wish we could have done mapping on the mountain. Would have been a dream, but we're just not there.
I hear you. Like I feel people are still gonna have a good time. I did send you a message, but I'm bringing someone from America, to see Bloom as well. So she's gonna be super stoked.
Oh, that's gonna love it.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
a feminine party.
we've got some awesome offerings, and like we just completed the offerings and the lineup for now. And the nice thing is we've got like a good 2.5 weeks build up. It's a little bit of weird weather coming up now. Apparently, there's another massive cold front about to hit.
Really? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a winter baby, so I like the cold, but that is surprising.
it's a massive cold front sitting. Apparently, like this weekend's going to get down to like 4 or 5 degrees.
Goodness. I
It's very weird.
wonder if the people of Earth Dawn is gonna be ready for that.
Shit, yeah. I would definitely make an announcement because you're quite exposed there in Arties as well.
Exactly, yeah. Like, and the wind here is like ceaseless, so if it's cold, you're cold.
Yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
Cool, but so I'm pretty much thinking I'm obviously going all roads for Bloom, and then obviously Twilight will be next, so we can obviously chat about that.
That would be great. Like sending me some of the designs so I can see what we're working with. I will, talk to my suppliers as well. Like you mentioned, you want two 8K projectors for Twilight.
Yeah, if possible, yeah.
We can do that.
And obviously, if they can give us a decent price, as I said, Craig Shackleton, he normally comes up. He kind of gives us, it's like 15 grand plus a flight all in. So obviously that's kind of our budget. What we're looking at. But let's see how we can work it.
Sounds good, man. Is that what you called? You wanted to talk about Twilight?
Yeah. Okay. So Bloom, I skipped through your message. So do you want to volunteer to help out at the event?
The thing,
or do you just want to come as a punter?
it's a matter of like what I would help with. I like helping, and like I feel like she would also not mind helping as well. But what do you have in mind?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking because obviously, we always need, with especially setting up lights and all that type of stuff. It's always nice to have some hands. Especially for Thursday afternoon when we're setting up lights and getting the UVs in the right positions and getting the lights for the bottom floor and creating the ambiance.
I hear
I don't know
you.
if that's something that you do.
As I'm fortunately one of the more technical guys, so I'm behind the computer. Like I leave that kind of work to the harder workers. I appreciate you offering though. Like I really do appreciate it. If it wasn't for the fact that we're going to be spending time together, I would have taken it
Of
up.
course.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah, you get more technical than you like plug the computer in and then you like I get it.
exactly.
What I've learned from Germany is creating the atmosphere with lighting. Like having, especially with mapping, I just thought that we must put that light that must shine on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a major focus, is to get the right lighting engineer.
Exactly.
To control the lighting with what we set up. You know what I mean?
Do you
Quite a
do
big
you
job.
do you have like a controller for all of your lights? Do you know who's doing it for you?
Yeah, I've got someone. I'm working on that. Yeah, but
Okay.
obviously, it's a matter of setting them up, and then also walking through to the dance floor. Shit, wait, we need to light a parka in that tree. Just small stuff like that. But
Exactly.
yeah, listen, it's super chill. If your girlfriend is here from America, you need to come join them.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Like I feel like in part, I am kind of bummed that it didn't work out for us this round for Bloom. But at the
Yeah,
same time, knowing that she's gonna be here, I was already kind of stressed about working and having her here. So things work out the way they're supposed to.
just enjoy the jolt.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for holding this,
Cool,
Joel,
man.
man. Like she literally wanted, like she mentioned to me, she wants to come to Bloom. So like
Awesome.
even the
So
Americans know,
marketing.
bro. Exactly.
Awesome. Damn it.
Okay,
Cool, man.
let's have a
Okay.
good one, man. We'll see each other not too long then.
Okay, cool. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Shot through.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers. Bye.
Oh. I got offered more work, but I don't need none, bro. Getting more than I bargained for. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? This is what I mean. I didn't, because again, working there would mean that I would get a ticket for free, which is like 1,000 rand, a little bit more than 1,000 rand, like $50. Right, and I would then have a festival experience, which would also be valuable. But, you know, that is almost too much than what I've bargained for, quite literally. You know, because it would mean that I would have to give some of my time as a sacrifice in order to get this thing, which I would rather give that time to someone else. Okay, let me get back to chat. All right, the interconnectedness of the ancient world is fucking marvelous to me. Egypt somehow had a trade with South America, possibly indirectly, as we found pharaohs who've tested positive for cocaine. How about that? How about that? These dudes, freaking pharaohs, having a good time. I do not partake of cocaine, but I do partake of marijuanas, and I'm going to get more than I bargained for. Yes, intention set gets more than bargains force. I'm the guy behind the computer. I leave the other stuff for the harder workers. Chef's kiss. I'm self-aware at the very least. At least I'm self-aware. If I wasn't somewhat self-aware, I think I'd be obnoxious. I'm still obnoxious. I would be more. I would be more obnoxious. That tastes so good. Oh, it makes me happy. Yum, 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 yum. Good morning, beautiful homies and homettes. Please send gold my way. It seems you're sending your gold our way too, bro. Sam cooked up pharaohs. Cooked up pharaohs makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense, actually. They weren't all megalomaniacs. Yes, not all of them. Starts thinking about which ones weren't. They aren't super cuddly. I think I'm missing context. I'm gonna. Heyo, stoter kabouter. Hello, humanimal critter creatures, hugs and shiny fruit. To you too, bro. Sending you lovins. Very well done handling the request for, hey man, just help out. With my client just now? Yeah. Thank you. I mean, would have been nice. In another world. Could have been, potentially. I am technically going to go and help with a festival this weekend coming. Friday. I'm gonna be going through on Thursday already to help set some stuff up, but I'm gonna be helping with a festival, and then I'm going to be at that festival. They have a little art gallery, so I don't know what that entails. It's probably gonna be a tent with art in it, and I'm gonna be one of the people, being like, "Huh, you want art, sir? I got arts right here. Give us your money. I get a percentage of it, and I like that, or whatever. You know, it's gonna go something like that." And I'm kind of excited for it. I'm gonna take my art as well. I do have my printed stickers still. I have sold almost enough to pay my entire investment into them back. And if I can sell some more this weekend, that would be great. If I could gain one extra Patreon supporter, I would learn how to do a backflip and then do a backflip. If there's a trampoline, I would do a backflip. But yeah. Not a single South African supports my Patreon. part of me is butthurt about it, you know. A little bit. It's not like a little bit. Why? I don't know. Do I know? Guess it's like an affirmation thing, right? Clearly, you American friends, you know, value my work, but I don't know what South Africans do. I did try. I did mention yesterday that I had like a whole reaching out to a bunch of art galleries, and I got one reply, a singular reply, and that person proceeded to not reply to my reply to their reply, which is sometimes uh, getting less than you bargained for. But that's fine. I've saved on my phone a little playlist, not playlist, list of locations called Art Gallery. And those locations are now crystallized into my phone, and I will go there. I will ask who's in charge, and I will talk to them. If they tell me the person's in charge not here, I'll tell them I'll wait. Sir, they don't really come here. Tell them I'll wait anyway. Waits there for 5 years. Owner eventually shows up. Having heard about this homeless person that's been living in the art gallery, it's like, bro, what can I do to get you out of here? And I go, support my work. And then boom, suddenly, I spot a little burb on a stick and get my mind completely derailed. And I start talking about something else, you know, suddenly, love is true. I'm going back to comments. Hi people, my trailer has AC and will be enjoyed today. Peanuts for breakfast. Nice. I'm happy that you have AC. AC is nice. We unfortunately do not have AC, but I am gonna get myself AC. There's this piece of technology that I want. What, Mel? You want something else? Yeah, I do. It's called a Wave 2. It's an EcoFlow product. It's basically a heat pump that you can transport. I.e., it is a good air conditioner, good for the size of rooms we usually find ourselves in, relatively speaking, right? Good for the size of rooms I find myself in. And it, again, conditions the air with a heat pump, which is more energy efficient. So you don't use as much energy, so it's not as expensive to run. And then it has batteries, and those batteries have solar inputs, and EcoFlow is a part of a ecosystem of solar products. So you could potentially run your AC exclusively off of daylight, which is what I want. But getting there, buying the machine, buying the Wave 2, and buying enough solar and buying enough batteries to have overhead to keep me cool even when it's not sun out would be like $3,000. And I'm not even joking. Like, it would really be like $3,000. The thing itself costs $1,000 something dollars. And then the batteries are gonna cost $1,000 something dollars. And then the solar is gonna cost like another $800. Maybe not that much. Yeesh. Maybe not at all that. Yeah, maybe like 10,000 rand, you know, $500. But you'll get there quickly. But AC, the reason I want that one specifically is because I can take it with me, right? Where traditional AC, you make holes in the side of the building and you install things. I guess you can take that with you as well, but it would leave a scar. It wouldn't be very appealing. The American. Did I say the American? I'm the guy behind the computer. I leave the other stuff for harder workers. Thank you for that, bro. Saw a dude cuddling up a crocodile. Reminded me of you. Bless Swampy. I have 3 new scars this week. Big ones? I hope not. I hope you're okay. Do stay safe. They aren't super cuddly. Yeah, Swampy. I'm about to use a power cord all day. New scars incoming. It's 90 Fahrenheit here, and we are in drought. No cold here at all. Just yet. Hopefully it comes soon to you. Power sword sounds awesome. It's never cold here. Never? In Florida? Huh. I didn't know that. This is news to me. Milwaukee tiny handheld chainsaw. I did see your tiny handheld chainsaw. That is pretty cool. And I've looked at those before as well. And for things that are, like that thick, that's probably what you need. But that like button press shears. Put a battery on a pair of shears, and you press a button, and you can just like meet branches up to like I think this thick, like 2.5 centimeter thick branches or diameter branches. You can like cut them like butter. I want one of those. I don't know why. I don't do much pruning these days, but I still want one. I'll start pruning trees as a vigilante, I'll be like, oh, this tree needs pruning. Suddenly, a person shows up next morning to their tree pruned. Who would have done such a thing? They ask themselves. Tree pruner man. What would my outfit look like? I can see it. I'm imagining like roots, like folded over myself. Right? And every now and then it's like a little stick pushing out of the roots with a little leafy. Yeah. Where am I going? We're getting more than we bargained for. That's where we're going. My imagination is like, oh yeah? Okay, let's more. And then next. And then again. Super cuddly, it's never cool. And starts thinking about which ones weren't her name. Her name was Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut. Sounds like I'm talking in reverse when I say her name. And she was a female pharaoh who kicked ass. Nice. Thank you, Sam, for honoring Hatshepsut. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Probably not. If they wanted me to say it correctly, they should have had easier names. Maximum ignorance is bliss. Thank you very much. Been cutting down oak trees this week. I don't know how I feel about that. I was listening to a book today about money, but there was an analogy about oak trees. About if you plant an oak tree today, a year from now, there won't be much to look at. 10 years from now, it might be something. 50 years from now suddenly you have something spectacular, right? As this oak tree. So, you cutting down oak trees, do they need to be cut down? Makes me angry, bro. Makes me want to fight for the oak trees, so. The oak trees don't have fists, but I do. And I'm really teased. Love is true. I'm joking, of course. I need to read up on Hatshepsut. I learned a little bit about her in school, but I don't remember much. We didn't learn much about the pharaohs in my schooling system. I think I need to harvest some of the lumber and create a shillach. Why are you friends using these words that I don't understand? Shillach? You need to just tell me what that thing is, bro. Be like, I'm gonna create and then give me like verbal description. Like a 5-year-old. Styrofoam cooler. A bag of ice and a small fan. Air conditioner. A styrofoam cooler. A bag of ice and a small fan. So, number one, I'll have to go and buy styrofoam cooler. I would have to go and buy bags of ice. And they will thaw within minutes. I have a small fan at least, but yeah, the fan, we do have just fans. Like that is our form of air conditioning here in South Africa for the most part. They are energy efficient, significantly more energy efficient relatively to air conditioning. The most energy efficient way of air conditioning would be to have bodysuits. To have bodysuits, and then that bodysuit keeps you cold directly. Can I have one, please? I hope I get to make them instead of having to buy one. That would be cooler to me. But I will buy one too. If someone else makes one better than I imagined, if someone else makes one better than I can bargain for, then I will pay the price they ask. But in the same breath, I do want to make that thing as well. It would be super fun having a super suit. It doesn't even have to be that super, right? Legitimately, it just has to keep me cold. Mm-hmm. Zoom, 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 doo, doo, doo. She initially took over as a regent for her stepson, Thutmose III, and then assumed the throne either due to a political or economic crisis. She expanded trade routes and built the Temple of Karnak. That is pretty cool. Even though I know that you're recanting history, it feels like you're telling me some lore from a game. It's like, yes, expand trade routes and build Temple of Karnak so you can get to the next technological level. And so you can Sam, most of the old world rulers were women. Yeah, and most of the new world rulers are women as well. Ask me how I know. Actually, don't. Because I don't know if I have a good answer. I just have this feeling. I have this feeling that the future is feminine. Right? And I'm super stoked about that. We've had enough. We've had enough aggression. I just say it in so many words. Like capitalist world is so aggressive. Right? Oh yeah? Don't want to work? How about die? How about then you die? How about that? Don't want to work? No medical services for you, bro. How about that? Right? That's like, in my mind, the male way of seeing it, where a woman nurtures, right? Traditionally, from the way that we can look at our history as a species. Not trying to assign gender roles. I have nurtured people as well. I nurture people every day. I like cooking, right? The feminine part that is me, I believe this thing is feminine, right? Sure, I'm unchanged masculine consciousness, but this thing is feminine. This thing likes taking care of people from that, and I believe that's a feminine aspect in me. So in that way, I hope that that femininity is the future. That future, right? That's what I mean when I say the future is feminine. Just that willingness to nurture our species, nurture our planet, nurture our animals, nurture ourselves, right? Literally. Yeah. Queens were in charge. It's only in recent history that men had taken control. Old lore. Oh yeah. Joe. I don't want to call her Hatch. Oh, Hatch. Was singular because Egypt was very few female pharaohs in its history. She's special. There we go. Do they have battery shears? But this mini sword, they do have battery shears, but this mini sword can supposedly do 40 cuts on an 8-inch piece and 120 cuts on a 3-inch piece. I mean, that's not nothing, but that still sounds like not a lot to me. If there were bigger battery shears, you would be able to cut 8 inches. 8 inches is a lot. Actually, I stand corrected. That is a lot. That is a lot of cuts. You know, and you will not be able to battery shear through 8 inches of wood. Not anytime soon, at least. And if you do, it will be a thing that you hold like this. You will go, and then will go, yes. It would be fun, but I don't think there exists. I think there do, but they exist for like cutting apart cars to help people in car crashes. Right? I don't think they use them in handscaping, I think is the right word just yet. Battery powered shears sounds pretty great. They are. Hey Google. Hey Google. Show me battery powered shears. Me selling products. You know, and again, I've wanted one of these for a long time, and I almost bit the bullet. I almost did, but they were like 3,000 rand, so like $150. And if I did end up getting one, it would have absolutely no use right now. That's what they look like. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Isn't that cool? Look at it. Look at it. You just push a button and it goes hop. Just hops right through it. if you do landscaping, right, and you do end up pruning branches back on like a tree to make it neat again, this is what you need to get yourself. Like look. There you can see how thick they can go as well. Like you can cut like branches. And if you have ever used one of those shears to cut a branch like that, I can tell you now, it's not fun. It's not actually that fun. Maybe satisfying when you eventually do manage to cut through it, but rarely is it fun. Being able to press button and it goes just through the wood. So fun. If they wanted us to say it right, they should have had easier names. TKV Deresheshkar has entered the chat. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say that name either. I am being purposefully offensive, but as a joke, right? I don't mean it. I don't mean that. My name can be hard for people, so it's not like they chose. Again, I'm just joking. Yeah, the oak tree analogy has weight as well. I'm nurturing as fuck you, motherfucker. Bro, again, you are feminine. Whether you want to believe it or not, just because you have a penis doesn't make you any less feminine, in my eyes. In my eyes. To my mind, right? Because this thing is bound to change. And the change in my world is the feminine, right? The masculine is the unchanged. The thing that doesn't change, that's masculine. The thing that changes, that's the feminine, right? Like a dance in a way, right? Where there has to be a floor, the unchanged, for the feminine to be able to dance on something, right? The contrast, the polarity. And in that way, all of us are feminine entities. These things are feminine entities. You might be more identified with the part of you that's unchanged, the part of you that just persists day after day after day since the start of your existence. And in my mind, since the start of all existence. Or you might identify with this thing that's changing, right? Might like the way your hair looks. You might like to dress in different ways. You might again, right? It's where you place most of your focus. And that's why I understand very much the trans community as well, because that's the way it makes sense to me, where as an entity you might be identified with other sides of the polarity that we're all a part of, right? For me, the changing of your body, that is like a commitment that I feel I wouldn't be able to break. But again, I am never a person to tell someone else what they can and can't do with their own experience, because it's theirs. It is literally their experience to have. It's not yours, right? I feel like that's maybe the way that I try to explain it to my family, at least, right? South Africans can be very confused about that whole view as well, whole world view as well. Like, they do not understand how that's even possible. Not to change the subject, but I went to an amazing concert last night. Living, colorful, and extreme. It was literally mind-blowing. That sounds like such a blessing. Lovazana, I'm happy to hear that, friend. Do you have any photos that you took, maybe? Maybe I can search. Hey, Google. Living, color, and extreme. It's like a rock band. I'm seeing some like thumbnails here, but I don't know if they're gonna show me what you saw last night. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing that excitement with us, Louisiana. I have an extendable pile saw that reaches 12 feet above my head, and it will cut large limbs. Shit is awesome. A pole saw, those things are really cool. It runs on extension cord. There's a company that I love called Felco that makes battery-powered shears for orchards, where you wear the battery pack for pruning fruit trees. You get 1,000 cuts easy. Oh yeah, that sounds nice. You have to wear the battery though. For me, I have to do a ton of invasive clearing at low heights where a traditional chainsaw would be sketchy and my hands would be dead from pruning shears. No, but if you get an electric one, they wouldn't be. But they might also be like, it might also be uncomfortable to get under there and keep pushing a button where you just want to maybe hold a handle and go something like that. Do you have extra batteries for your chainsaw knife? Okay, I think I've read that message already. I'm going to hit my Dynavap one more time. For me, I think I've already known. Yeah, Rabbit, that is awesome. It is. Love is true. Bargaining for more. I bargained for. Well, my client called me today first to confirm that I can do work for him at Twilight. I could also hear him hinting at the fact that he wants to get more than he bargains for. But maybe that's fine. Because I did set out with the intention of having fun. No. Not the right words that I used. I did set out with the intention to do festivals as a passion project. You can call that fun as well, but I will never be able to make good money with the festivals, unfortunately. Right? I can maybe do my own festivals and do my own visuals, and then I'll be able to make proper money. But I will not be able to make proper money just doing the visuals for these festivals, because it's like a matter of margins. Right? Right now, so much of my margins is going just to my technology cost. But making $200 a weekend isn't nothing either. And right now, it's a lot. And since I have a growing business, any capital that goes into that account is a sign of health. Right? And if I can keep putting more health markers on my business, maybe I can get a loan. And as soon as I can get that loan, I'm going to buy extremely expensive speakers. Do I need to? No. Do I want to? Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like buying speakers because I've wanted many things. Right? I want electric car, I want EUC, I want air conditioning. Right? I want these things. I do. But having cost analyzed all of these things that I find myself wanting, speakers seem to be the thing that carries the most value. The new speaker technology have like 109 years of actuations on those drivers, rated actuations on those drivers. In other words, I can plug those speakers in, run them off extreme batteries and solar energy, and they would continue playing for 190 years. They will only stop playing, and they probably will continue to play, but there will only be like a sound aggregation, in the freaking year 2200. No, 2100. Isn't that awesome? It is to me. My literal grandkids will thank me. My grandkids' grandkids. Maybe I only have, maybe just my kids. Maybe with the future we're heading into 120 years from now, my kids are not ready to have kids yet. I can see that happening. Yeah. But they'll thank me. They'll be like, thanks, Dad. Thanks for spending a bunch of cash building these things 100 years ago. And I'll be like, bet. Oh, I'm happy I spent that cash 109 years ago as well. Speakers. Again, I feel like music has been such an important part of my life that I feel like it wouldn't be me asking more than I can bargain for. All right. I can make that work. Having a tool like that a part of our world makes a lot of things a lot easier. And my mind is doing like location scouting right now, man. Like, okay, we've already done this, right? It's already done. We already have the speakers. Where do we put them? Where do we put them so that people can listen? I'm gonna need more money for the speakers. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Bring myself back. Getting more than I bargained for. Love is true. No, 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 no. Power tools of any flavor are awesome. They're so helpful. Just tools, right? All tools. I feel like that is, in part, what makes us human, right? Is the fact that we make tools of such high sophistication. And I don't know, and this is a part of me that really does like take some pause. I don't know if I am actively being manipulated by the capitalist system to want things that I don't actually need. Or if I really want these things because they inspire love in me. Talking about inspiring love in me. Hey, Xiao. It's nice having you here. Right? Like this. This is technically a piece of technology. It doesn't really do anything to deserve my love, particularly. It evaporates the THC of weed, right? Sure, that is lovable, but it doesn't really do anything to deserve my love. And yet, there is so much love in my heart. Like taking care of our things. For instance, maybe I can like reel it back. I saw this video recently of a biped robot, right? And there's a lot of robots coming out right now, but this little biped robot. And for some reason, in the robotics industry, the way we test whether or not a robot can stay on its feet is by trying to get it off of its feet. And literally, since I was a kid, watching people like push robots with sticks or kick them over and stuff like that, it makes me feel bad. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, right? And today again, I see this, and I feel this sense of like, no, stop it, stop hurting the robot. And my mind is like, Mel, you're anthropomorphizing the robot. They cannot get hurt. They do not have sensors the way you do to feel pain. But still, stop kicking Mr. Robot. Leave Mr. Robot be. Right? So in that way, there definitely is a love in me for technology. Right? Like a genuine love. A pure love, I would say even. Yeah. So maybe that would be my answer to my own question of whether or not I'm being manipulated. Can you be manipulated into loving something? My mind is like, hey Mel, did you know alcohol exists? That's a good point you're making. Myself. Have we been manipulated into loving alcohol though? I think alcohol releases, neurochemicals. GABA being one of them, so you feel more relaxed, and dopamine being another, so you feel affirmed in your behavior. But I feel again the manipulation comes in advertising, in generational trauma. You know, seeing your parents do things, seeing your family do things, it becoming normalized, right? There is a certain, like, it might be unintentional manipulation, you know, in that way as well. Is it still manipulation if it's unintentional? I feel manipulation in a way, as a word, does have some intention behind it. I'll let it there. Let's feel for ourselves. Melty, pursue love and compassion. The world will bless you. That is the only thing that I pursue, my dear friend. My penis is feminine. It is, bro. It will change. Sometimes it's one way, sometimes it's another. Why are you like, can we just leave the penises be? Again, masculinity and femininity has absolutely nothing to do with your genitalia, in my mind, right? It doesn't have anything to do with genitalia. It has to do with polarity. In the same way a magnet has a positive pole and a negative pole, and there is a magnetic field created between these poles, right? There is polarity. And if you take that long magnet with these two poles and you snap it in half, there's not suddenly a masculine pole and a feminine pole. Nay, it will literally rebalance itself and will create a negative and positive polarity on that new broken bit of magnet. Right? So it's like a fundamental truth of this experience we are a part of. And in that fundamental truth, I see this thing as the part of polarity that is feminine. Penis included. Whether you like that idea or not, I'm not exactly trying to sell it to you. I'm just telling you that that's the way I understand it. And it gives me more than I bargained for, right? Because it allows me to love things from that masculine perspective, looking at the feminine, right? I can look at the difference between that beautifully lush green tree and the one that is a little bit more faded. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Right? And surely, look, right? Beautiful lush and green, and then faded, and then lush and green again. This is less vibrant, less maybe healthy, maybe less nutritious to the environment. Maybe it's absorbing less energy from the sun, etc., etc. But the way that I get to look at it, again, from this masculine perspective, looking at the feminine, is just acknowledgement of its beauty. Right? Love, again. I get to love it. To be like, oh wow, I like the way that looks. That's pretty. Little stickies, little yellow, brown, orangey, green leaves all mixed together. So beautifully contrasted by the greenery around it. Right? And again, from my perspective of getting more than I bargained for, that is what I believe I'm supposed to do. That to me is the stakes of existence. That I need to be loving. I consider myself intelligent, but at the same time, I understand that I am a human being. And this human being that I am isn't intelligent. So I have to simplify things. And that is the simplest way that I have come to understand my own experience. It might be more than you bargained for. You might not have expected to hear these things today. Thank you, though, for sticking around to listen. The gift of reciprocity that exists in our fundamental physical plane is undeniable. We live on a balanced beam, and we are gifted with the energies we emit. Stay aware. It's so beautiful that you say that. I had a conversation recently, and she told me that she heard in a book that she read that there should be this principle of 50-50 when it comes to your finances, where you give 50% of your finances away and you keep 50% of your finances for yourself. And if you do that, you will be in balance with your financial life. So, just listening to you say that after the conversation that was had feels extra synchronous. Thank you, Bojo. Holy cow, it's Meow Lao and the duck dad, that's rad. Judge you a true cool dude. Sam, the man balam, the man kablams. Kristen, so sparkly and glistening. Louisiana needs to come to Indiana. Melt, heart is felt. Mel's heart is felt. Chauvin, love you, beautiful people. Now I work again. Sending you so many lovins. Good luck. Jovan makes smile, that she does. Electric pruners are limited to their jaw opening. This is true. My electric chain knife can handle the bigger stuff. Yes, I have 3 batteries. This is my first day using it. I'll let you know. I hope that you make a whole day through with the batteries that you have, bro. I'm not saying you need to throw your current machine in the trash. Not at all. I'm just being a little capitalist monkey and being like, but wouldn't it be nice to have one of those pruners too? You know, you can like dual wield them. Zzz, bzz, 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 bzz. You would look so cool. You know, you can do like a little spinny with them even. Show up with your dual wielding. I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry, bro. For real. Joe, the entire world is a manipulation. Capitalism is merely a small and irritating facet of it. It's a hot take. I like it. Make no mistake, brother. We are all being actively manipulated by the capitalist propaganda that has now become the fabric of our truth. Love is true. Capitalism isn't. That feels like a true statement. We are force-fed an idea, and it happens ever long. Embrace the fact and overcome the rhetoric. They're lying. Elevate yourself, my friends. Show for love, for real. Big ol' shit show. Finding your peace amongst your immediate surroundings. I believe language is manipulation as well, though. You know, just to like add this facet of this conversation before we continue, because when you use language, you want to make the other person feel the thing that you're feeling, right? And you might feel something based on an understanding. So you're trying to communicate that understanding as well to a person so that they can feel the thing that you're feeling, right? And in that way, you are manipulating. I am manipulating you right now. Feel these things. Feel them. However, I would like to believe that I have a noble heart, and I would like to make you feel good things. And I do falter on that sometimes. And I'm actively growing and getting better, right? Because I do take great responsibility in that. However, Sam says, capitalism did not begin with currency. The pyramids were built by people who were compensated with beer and housing. And during those times, such work was undertaken with fervent devotion. Yes, the quality of life you had as a pyramid builder was significantly, like by great margins, better than the average quality of life the commoner had, right? Like Sam did talk about being compensated with beer, but they also had housing, right? They had places to stay, they had food to eat. The beer was just the extras, right? They were treated well. They were treated like with esteem because they were these builders of pyramids. And in that way, people were devoted to their craft because they were appreciated for the work that they were doing. And now, on a societal level, we are exponentially more abundant than the Egyptians were, you know, when it came to their technology and their actual access to resources. And still, you know, we're not doing that for people. We're not offering them, I'm gonna say, mushroom beer and housing, you know. Yes. Yo, I feel very recently that my eyes have been opening to just how much indoctrination happens, propaganda and whatnot. It's easy to see outside of us, but diggity darn, seeing its inner workings, seeing it work within me, I would have never noticed if I hadn't looked inwards. If it wasn't for yoga And it's uncomfortable, but so liberating to grow that awareness. Responsibility follows. Fact, actually, Joe. Love is true. That's so beautifully said, Joe. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Coming to the realization that you might have been manipulated is an uncomfortable reality to sit with. But it is one of those things, as Jovan said, that you can only start to work on after you have come to that conclusion, right? It's like noticing a scar. Maybe you have a big infected scar. Sorry for the imagery. And maybe you are a person who doesn't feel any pain miraculously. The only way for you to actually not die from this wound that you have sustained is for you to notice the wound. And upon noticing this wound, suddenly the responsibility falls upon you to do something about it, to clean the wound, to take care of it, to take care of yourself, so that you can continue forward. Make the world a better place. I appreciate you adding awareness to that topic, Jovan, to that understanding. I don't know that I consider a company town compensation, but that's my lens. I mean, again, you have to consider when these things were happening, Sam. Like, we have gotten used to a significantly different way of being. And you being an American, even more so. Like, exponentially more so. Back in the days, living in a company town would have been gangster. Would have been the best shit ever. Ever, right? Like, living as like a commoner. Basically, like, everybody was what we would consider a homeless person 2,000 years ago. Every single person was basically a homeless person. Right? Like, if you had to see the average person walking around 2,000 years ago, and I'm saying the average person deliberately, you would be like, oh, this person must be homeless. To every single person that passes you. And relatively to the home you have, they're like cave dwellers in comparison. Living in huts made of sticks. Huts made of sticks is not a bad way to live either, though. Maybe we can find some way of going back to that. Seeing, like, the way that I see this, just to give more context, I hope that we figure out how to manipulate DNA down to like extreme levels, down to the levels where we can manipulate like growth speed and shape that it takes. And then we take like a viner type of plant, that can grow thick vines, like structurally sound vines. And then we teach that thing what it's supposed to look like. And then we go and seed those seeds on our build site. And then this whole building grows right there. Yes, see, that makes me so happy to think about. Right? I don't know how much technology we'll have to get to that level, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's make it happen. I don't know that I consider a company town compensation, but that's my lens. They were also provided bread rations, and the workers who died there were entombed with honors. They had good lives, exactly. If we want to get deep, measurements are a type of manipulation. Some of us live in pounds and some of us live in kilos. We are built around our separation at a fundamental core. Yeah, I don't know why you American friends, and I'm not trying to blame you, I just mean like the Americas as my friends. Why you are continuing to use the imperial system. Like, the metric system is better. And you might be like, yo, Melt, you've said that. All you have to do is learn the metric system and start using it, right? Rebel in that way. Rebel. Start using metric. Maybe that's the way the Americans take back their country. No, actually, we're gonna start using kilos now. Kilos and kilometers. Thank you very much. It's easy fix, and yet we still have the separation. Again, the fix starts on an individual level. The fix starts with you. right? With you using kilos, with you being grateful for small things, with you being kind towards those around you, towards yourself, towards your animals, right? Like that's how we melt that separation by acknowledging that we're not, right? And for me, the giving of love is almost like the most beautiful acknowledgement of non-separation, right? Because it's the best thing you can give. It's the only thing that non-separation wants in that way, right? That's the way I see it, at least. How am I being controlled is a question I ask myself a lot. As someone who had a narcissist best friend for 30 years, I'm always wondering who is fucking with me and how. And it is a helpful view. Helpful, helpful is relative, but I get why you would say that. I would use the word useful instead, because I don't know if it's helping you, but I do think it's something you can use. Yes, love is true. Sam, it's ever long. They're always trying to mess with you, but let it be. Be none. I consider everyone to be a friend, but this world is full of pirates. We must be able to identify the bastards. Oh yeah. At least the bastards are televised these days, you know. We can really identify them because they willingly let us all know how deranged they are. Oh goodness, funny. You should use the word pirates, Joe. Pirates are the exact reason the Americas never went metric of the rest of the world. The weights were on the way, and the ship was taken by pirates. This is true facts. This is actually true facts. Sam is speaking truth right now. Yeah, the metric standardized measurements were literally pirated. What a trip that is. Wait, never made it to Congress. The Americas landed on the moon using imperial units. Pretty wild, right? That is absurd. You know, we also like crashed a what, $140 million satellite on Mars because we were working internationally, and the Americans were using inches instead of centimeters or something like that. Freaking crashed the spaceship, crashed the satellite. More money than most people can imagine just ceased to exist because the imperial units. Like that alone, I feel like that should have been like a wake up call of like, you know what? I think we should stop. We should probably just stop, you know. Maybe NASA did. Hey Google, is NASA using the metric system? Yeah. Okay, yeah, makes sense. But NASA adopts the metric systems for all new projects. Oh my goodness, it literally happened because of that. I think so. This policy was in place since 2007. It ensures that most of NASA's current and future endeavors use the metric system. However, the legacy of the imperial system persists, particularly in the US segment of the International Space Station. But yeah, $125 million lesson. There it is. So I literally since then, they've just been using the metric system. It's like, oh jeez. The Great Gathering again. We've been pulling this card a lot. Like, I feel like the last 20 cards, even the last 10 cards we've pulled from this deck was this one. No. Let me back up. That's not what I meant to say. The last 10 cards we've pulled from this deck, 3 of those 10 cards was this one. Yeah. That is what I meant to say. Right? So like 30% of the cards we pulled from this deck in the last 10 has been this one. Which to me is very high odds. Must mean something. If you know the big stick is using inches, you use inches. Damn, if the rest of the world wanted their space programs, to take point. They should have put the money there to make it happen. Sam, like we literally just saw that NASA is using the metric system. NASA is an American space program, right? So even NASA, even your space program, acknowledges with all of their money, with all of the money they got, acknowledges that this is the better system to be using. Because it is. It simply is. It makes sense. And that's important when you're measuring things. Because again, I feel like the American way of measuring things is bound to confuse you. It's literally confusing by nature. Hey Google, can you represent the imperial system and metric system in bar graphs? Yeah, look at this. Like, this is bonkers. This like doesn't make sense to me. Like, why you would even think about it. Like, this is the difference. That is the metric system, and that is the imperial system. All right. So with the imperial system, nay. I say nay. I say take me back. There we go. With the imperial system, you have firstly your inches to feet, 12. You need 12 inches to 1 foot. Then you need 3 feet to 1 yard. Then you need 1,760 yards to 1 mile. So this is the breathe, Meld. Just keep breathing. Okay, there we go. Like, it keeps going. That bar keeps going, right? That's how high it is. Then it is ounces to a pound, which is 16. Right? Like, just my brain, even though I can see it so clearly represented, my brain, I have like a minor headache forming right here in the back of my brain, looking at that. Now let's are the same size because there's consistency. There is 1,000 millimeters in a meter. There is 1,000 meters in a kilometer. There is 1,000 grams in a kilogram. And there is 1,000 kilograms in a ton. Then with temperature, we have a 0 to a 100 scale, where 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling, right? Where in Fahrenheit, it's 32 to 212. So there's an arbitrary scale at which water freezes, where with Celsius, there's a logical scale, again, a 0 to a 100. 100 is literally like 100 degrees Celsius is when water starts boiling, and 0 is when it starts freezing. And then there is the day-month cycle as well, but that one isn't that significant. Yeah. I want to Google something. Hey Google, when is America switching over to the metric system? Yeah, see, bro. It doesn't seem like there's any plans. Doesn't seem like there's plans. The amount of like hard-headedness. Oh my goodness, I cannot understand. Pretty sure the metric system is widely used in the medical world too. Absolutely, yeah. And that is the better way to do it as well. Because again, like with millimeters, like there is 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter. Right? And 100 centimeters in a meter. So those are a little bit more, scaling. Goes like 10, 100, 1,000, and then the 1,000 stay for like the kilometers. But again, it makes sense. It does make sense. Especially if you grow up with it. I feel like that's the problem. Like most of us are already grown. I feel like all of us here are already grown. But most of us are already grown, and the kids aren't being taught any differently. Shana, so much love. French toast. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for joining me. I'm going to read what this card means. The Great Gathering. That's upside down. You are being called to let your intuition move you physically. You are connected to a group of souls who are weaving a web around the planet. Like, what are the odds that we pull this card again? My mind is melting. As you travel and share your creations, something is rethreaded. This card is an acknowledgement that you are either being called to connect with others who are like you at a soul level, or that you already are. You're being called to gather groups of people, either by leading them or becoming part of a group that can support you and your soul's personal mission. You are part of a group of souls who agreed to be here at this time in history to heal yourself, your ancestral line, and the planet, to raise consciousness so that we can continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come. One of many consciously choosing to devote your life to something greater than yourself. It's time to call in your tribe by sharing your soul's voice, letting yourself be seen. When you share what is real and true to you, goodness, and I was really pouring my heart out today with what is real and true to me. When you share what is real and true to you, and you share the medicine that you most need, those who are like you will gather around you. You are your tribe. They are just like you. And just as you are longing and searching for them, they are longing and searching for you too. I choose now to let myself be seen. I am ready to call in my soul tribe and create a web of light all over the planet. Yeah, share the honey. Thank you for sharing all of these lovings. Share the gold. Share the hope. Share the excitement. Share the good news. Love is true. Share. This is your wisdom. Thank you for letting me share today, dear friends. It's always a pleasure having these moments with you. May you have a beautiful day. One filled with hope. One filled with more than you can bargain for. Filled absolutely to overflowing. Where you have to do that thing where you're like balancing and taking a sip from the top. I want your day to be that stoked. That much love. Only take what you need, give the rest. Thank you for giving as much as you do. Dear friends, it's always nice having you here. I look forward to us doing it again tomorrow. Love you.